Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn about the ray diagrams, how to draw ray diagrams for the spherical mirrors. You know there are two types of spherical mirrors. One is concave mirror, another one is convex mirror. So how to draw the ray diagrams for the concave mirror and convex mirror. So first I am explaining for concave mirror, then we are going to study for convex mirror. See, concave mirror is drawn with its reflecting surface bulged inside. The reflecting surface is bulged inside. And you see, non-reflecting surface is shown as a shaded part. Non-reflecting surface is shown as a shaded part. So now first case, if there is a ray of light incidenting parallel to the principal axis, if the ray of light incidents parallel to the principal axis, then after reflection, you see, after reflection it passes through focus. Why does it pass through focus? That is the question. When you draw normal at the point of incidence, this is the point of incidence. If you draw the normal at the point of incidence, the normal at the point of incidence exactly passes through the center, because this normal drawn at the curvature of the mirror at any point, that normal becomes the radius of curvature. So the radius of curvature always passes through the center. Therefore, if you draw the normal passes through the center of curvature. And if you draw angle of incidence is the angle made by incident ray with the normal. Angle of incidence if you draw, then we know that angle of incidence must be equal to angle of reflection. So following that law of reflection, if you draw the reflected ray, angle of reflection must be equal to angle of incidence. So this R must be equal to I. If you follow that, definitely the reflected ray passes through the focus. So if incident ray falls parallel to the principal axis, after reflection it passes through focus. Now see the second case, just reverse. If the incident ray falls passing through the focus, if the incident ray is incidentally passing through the focus at this particular point on the mirror, then interestingly after reflection it goes parallel to the principal axis. It goes parallel to the principal axis. Why does it go parallel to the principal axis? Again, at this point of incidence, draw the normal. When you draw the normal, as I have told you, this normal becomes the radius of curvature. That radius of curvature should pass through the center of curvature. So again, measure the angle of incidence. Angle of incidence is the angle made by incident ray with the normal, and draw angle of reflection. Angle of reflection must be equal to angle of incidence. If you draw it, very interestingly, the reflected ray becomes parallel to the principal axis. So it is just reverse. If incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, it goes to focus after reflection. If incident ray is passing through the focus and falling on the curvature of the mirror, then after reflection it falls parallel to the principal axis. This is second one. The third one, if the incident ray is falling directly to the pole, if incident ray falls directly to the pole at some angle I, then again follow the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Here the principal axis itself becomes the normal. Again follow the law of reflection. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Then angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. If you follow that, again you will find that reflected ray will be exactly in the opposite direction on the same side. So this is how we follow angle of incidence equal to angle of reflection. Now let us see the convex mirror. When you see the convex mirror, you see incident ray again will take parallel to the principal axis. When the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, after reflection, you see it appears to have emerged from focus. It appears to have emerged from focus. Now if you draw the normal here, the normal passes through the center. The normal passes through the center of curvature, and thus again if you follow the angle of incidence equal to angle of reflection, you will find the ray diverging reflected ray diverging. Now you see, this is convex mirror. As I have told you earlier, the shaded region is a non-reflecting surface and the smooth surface is a reflecting surface. This is for convex mirror. Now let us see the second case. If the incident ray is directed towards the focus, if the incident ray is directed towards the focus, after reflection, it is going parallel to the principal axis. Just reverse. Incident ray directed towards the focus, after reflection, it gets diverged and goes parallel to the principal axis, again following the same guiding principle, that is angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Now you see the third one. In this case, if the incident ray is falling obliquely at any angle, if it is falling obliquely at any angle, again angle of incidence must be equal to angle of reflection, so it will be diverged in this sense. So these are the ray diagrams for convex mirror and concave mirror. Now let us study quickly how, when the rays are falling parallel to the principal axis, if the rays are falling parallel to the principal axis of a concave mirror, you see, after reflection, they will all converge together towards the point. That point is called as principal focus. So this is for concave mirror. So we define what is principal focus for a concave mirror. Principal focus for a concave mirror is that point at which all the reflected rays appear to have, all the reflected rays are converging. Here, when the rays are parallel to the principal axis, when the rays are falling from infinity parallel to the principal axis, after reflection, they converge at that point, and this point is called as principal focus. So principal focus for a concave mirror is defined as that point at which the reflected rays of those incident rays which are falling parallel to the principal axis, after reflection, converge to a single point and they form a point image. So huge object at infinity is going to form a point image. You must have played with the concave mirror in the sunlight. If you focus the sun, don't focus the sun towards your face or towards your eyes, it will burn you. It will burn your eyes. If you focus the concave mirror towards the sun and if you focus it at a point on the wall, you will find the point image of the sun. Or if you hold the paper at that point, you will find that the converged rays of the sun form a point image on the paper. That point image, if you hold it for few seconds or a minute or so, you will find that those rays are going to burn the paper. So that is the image of the huge sun. All the rays appear to you, all the rays converge at that point. So it is called as converging mirror. Now similarly, what happens for the diverging mirror? Why it is called diverging mirror? This is a convex mirror. The object is at infinity. Infinity means very far away. The rays falling from the object and infinity are parallel to the principal axis. When these rays are falling parallel to the principal axis, you see after incidentally, they all get diverged. Here they are converging after reflection. Here after reflection they are diverging away. You see, these are the diverging rays. But when you produce them back, these diverged rays appear to have come from one point. That point is the focus for convex mirror. So focus for the convex mirror is on the right side. So we use the sign convention for focal length. Pf is the focal length. Focal length of the convex mirror is positive and radius of curvature for the convex mirror is positive. Here the focus is on the same side, towards left side of the pole. So Fp becomes the focal length of concave mirror. So here the focal length of concave mirror is negative because it is towards left side. So radius of curvature of the concave mirror is also negative. So these are all very important when we go for solving the problems of formation of images by noting down the object distance, image distance and focal length. And I have told you in the previous presentation that we use mirror formula. 1 by f is equal to 1 by u plus 1 by v, where u forms the object distance, v is the image distance and f is the focal length. In those cases we have to follow the sign conventions strictly. So objects towards left to be placed always, objects should be placed towards left side of the mirror always. So the object distance will be negative. And images, if they are formed on the same side, image distance will also be negative. And focal length, if it is towards left side, focal length is also negative. Here also, object distance is negative because it is taken towards left side. Image, see, image is going to be formed on the other side of the mirror. So image distance for the convex mirror, when it is forming the image on the other side of the pole, it is going to be positive. That's how we use sign conventions. And definitely PF, the focal length, PF focal length becomes positive because it is towards right side. As I told you earlier, the point P, which we call it as pole must be considered as origin of coordinate system. So all those distances which are measured towards left side of the origin should be measured as negative distances. And all those distances which are measured towards the right side of the pole, right side of the origin, should be measured as positive distances. So these are the rules of Cartesian coordinate system. And the heights, you see heights which are perpendicular to the principal axis and above. If the heights are above the principal axis, they should be taken positive. If the image is inverted like this, if the image is inverted, then image is pointing downwards along negative y-axis. Therefore, image distance in case of inverted image must be taken. Image size, I am saying height of the image or size of the image, if it is inverted, it should be taken negative height. So these are the sign conventions. Next, we are going to study the formation of images for concave mirror and convex mirror for various positions of the object. If the object is at infinity, we got the image at focus, and this image at focus is point image, and it is going to be real image because this image can be obtained on the screen. Therefore, it is called real image. Whereas in the case of convex mirror, when the object is at infinity, the rays are all parallel to the principal axis. The image appears to have come from this point. This image cannot be obtained on the screen. So such image which cannot be obtained on the screen is called as virtual images. It is called as virtual image. So there are two types of images. One is real image, another one is virtual image. Real image is the one which can be obtained on the screen. Real image is the one which can be obtained on the screen. And virtual image is the one which cannot be obtained on the screen. Virtual image cannot be obtained on the screen. Usually, for an erect object, real image will be always inverted. Whereas virtual image will be always, almost all the times, virtual image will be erect. You are going to see that for most of the cases, the concave mirror is going to form real images. When the object is at infinity, when the object is brought closer to the center of curvature, kept beyond the center of curvature, and when the object is kept at center of curvature, when the object is in between C and F, in all these cases, even when the object is kept exactly at F, in all these cases it is going to form inverted images and real images, which can be obtained on the screen. Only for one particular case, if the object is between pole and focus, image is going to be on the other side, and that image cannot be obtained on the screen. So that is going to form erect image, enlarged image, and virtual image. So for all these cases, object at infinity, object just beyond C, object at C, object between C and F, object at F, and object between F and P. There are some 6 cases. For all these 6 cases, we are supposed to draw the ray diagram. How to draw all those ray diagrams for concave mirror and convex mirror, we'll study later. Thank you.